All right, technically we should be live. All right, let me actually thumbnails up. Okay,
Hmm.
we are actually technically live. So what's up? Check it out. Another week of Christopher Leon Johnson, DJ Elf 7 live, bringing to you news about local goings on. So this week we're starting off with anything we doing. Well, I guess the title really talks about the Korea thing. That's been a big thing for me. It's just off my head. So yeah, I participated yesterday. It was pretty cool. I did not see Code Pink there, but I did see Workers World there in force. I appreciate Code Pink shouting out the event. I do feel like Korea oftentimes is not really addressed, and that was my main complaint, right? That countries are not really being included. I do have other countries I do want included, but my primary base is Korea. So as long as they're getting covered, that's really a step in the right direction. So, but y'all still blackballing me, but we'll get there when we get there. I'll take a step at a time. Yeah. So you got to see some of the interesting things going on with Caleb Maupin, this clown, yeah, and the People's Forum were also involved. Um, what did you? What's your take on the whole? It was interesting to see Caleb Maupin get involved with this. All of a sudden, he cares about
Yeah,
Koreans. What
I
is
saw
that?
I saw the news. I heard the guy from a long time ago in my other type of activism. So people need to let's keep people updated about this. Callum Maupin, he's a political commentator. He's an activist. He's a lot of things. But recently, he got accused of being a pervert, sexually abusing people, and it got a lot of controversy within the activist circles. Now, what people need to understand about Caleb Maupin, he's one of those mainstream activists just like Jimmy Dore and the Jose Vega. I don't like that guy. He's something crazy, and he's like a mainstream activist, just like Medea Benjamin. I know that DJ has an issue with, and I don't blame him at all. And the People's Forum, they're like he mingled with the People's Forum. So what happened now is recently that a rally was supposed to be. Caleb asked or I think no Noctodal, I think it's Noctodal, I think that's his name. Can he come and support? And they gave him the finger. Betty Yoon, I think she's one of the co-founders of the Noctodal, the one to making quick point. Now we don't want you here. We don't support you because you got accused of being a pervert. So he made a big stink about them, like, oh, this is crazy. He was trying to smear them because they want to do with a pervert. Now, I will say this right now, like I don't blame him at all. I wouldn't do anything with a pervert. I wouldn't want to do anything do with anybody as a perverted person that's as a creep or a sex offender or anything like that. I'm totally against sex offenders. I'm totally against perverts and creeps. Now, speaking of this, speaking of movements, while we're here, I know we didn't do this to the pre-show, and I'll bring this up right now. So recently, before we get into another topic but it technically alluded to this day. There was a rally that was outside City Hall in New York City, to be exact, and it was about about keeping bail reform, keeping discovery, and etc. So if people in the criminal justice movement got to understand about Akeem Browder and Khalid Browder. Khalid Browder was a dude that he committed suicide because he felt he had a lot of trauma in Rikers. So Kalief was accused of stealing a backpack from one of those migrants, and he got arrested. His family had to post $3,000 bail, or he couldn't go home. So while he was in jail, he was being abused, being targeted, and etc. Blah 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 blah. Try to make him take plea deals and all this stuff like that, and he did take a plea deal, and then they let him out. So he got through. He went through a lot of trauma. It got national news. The celebrities tried to help him out. It didn't do well because he committed suicide. He hanged himself right outside his apartment building. Is his house outside the house? So it's like technically you throw yourself outside the window and hang yourself outside the window so everybody see your body, your dead body dangling outside the window from an AC court. That's how he passed away. So recently, his brother, his name is Akeem Browder, who was a convicted level 3 sex offender, was out there rallying against repealing bail reform and repealing discovery reform of this and repealing speed trial. So the funny thing was that Akeem Browder hugged and was caressing Tippy Gaban, making it look like they was having sex. They was fucking. I mean, like they had a sexual relationship, like Tippy Gaban and Akeem Browder. Now, it got a lot of controversy on the internet because a lot of people don't like that sex offender stuff. Now, the same stuff Akeem is going through because a lot of people don't mess with him. Because I got some stories. Somebody asked me a story recently I can't make it public. I'll be vague that he did it to a few people in the movement from verified sources that he did this to a few people in the movement. Akeem Browder has been sexually abusing people. Akeem Browder has been sexually harassing people and harassing women within the movement.
But
So
because
for
of
you
his
guys that,
status,
yeah,
because of
because
his
it's
name
status,
recognition,
name
there's people on the
recognition.
left that will protect him and that
Exactly.
will disregard, right, the complaints
Hmm.
and actually, because they have something to gain. And it's sickening and
And
wrong. Um,
we are
yeah.
still in National Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And it's sad that this year that we didn't have a lot of rallies from the elected officials. We didn't get any ceremonies. We didn't get anything from the elected officials about National Sexual Awareness Month because I think they know that they're hypocrites for that because none of these guys are complicit in sexual assault and covering up sexual assault, and they don't want those victims to come out to their rallies and call their asses out for their fuck shit. They can't gaslight a victim. You can never gaslight a victim when it's in public. You could do it on social media, block them, and
Hmm.
censor them, but you can't do it in public. So
They're
this
not going
month
to
is a
tolerate it.
really,
Hell no. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
So you gotta remember, we're still is April 30th, 2023. We're live, and we're still National Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So it's really serious. There's certain topics we all take serious. People now start taking serious. If you want to take it serious, then shame on you. It's bigger than a photo op. It's bigger than some access. I am willing myself. I lost a couple access with elected officials recently because I called out Warner Ardila. I don't care because I care about protecting the victims. I care about the victims more than the perpetrators. And I don't care if the perpetrator is an elected official or political or nonprofit CEO. If you do fuck shit, I will call it out. I don't care.
That's
That's
good.
me.
That's good,
So
yeah.
now go back to Caleb Maupin, that's the thing. It's just with him, it's just like he just gotta do his own thing. Move on. Don't stay they don't want to undo with you, then they don't want to undo with you.
You know
If
what?
they're not,
One thing that's interesting about Caleb Maupin is, and you could see it if you take a look at the Destiny, the title says that he deleted everything, right, in a panic. The thing is that the entourage around him, right, saw him as someone who was exploitable, like Daniel Burke, and they actually encouraged him to go back in, and they started supporting him, like Nick Braun and these other people jumped in, because they wanted to still take advantage of the followers that he had and the numbers. And even though he, right, on his own might have just walked away, which have really been the best solution, right? Take a break, right? Yeah, reassess yourself. Don't try to come back in as a leader. I'm not saying you can't have these political ideals, whatever, right? You can follow those paths and explore them, sure, but stop passing yourself off as a leader. You need to really get reset back to back to everybody else. And honestly, the way that
yeah.
you abused it, you need to be reassessed. So, but this type of deification, this type of, and I know that I have actually, I don't know if you've seen my latest stuff where I'm actually digging into some stuff from Korea. A lot of people want to be pro North Korea because they're anti US, and I get that, but wait a second, right? What kind of socialism has this kind of family dynasty of leaders? Does that sound really socialist to you? So a lot of people are overlooking certain, because they feel critical about one side, they actually make the other side can do no wrong and becomes too big to fail, and that type of mentality needs to go. We need to have constant reassessment of not just other people but ourselves as well, and our own leaders, or this type of thing. So thank you for bringing up that issue with the Hakeem Browder. I really don't
Yeah.
know so much about it, but it's important for us. It sounds like something that's
Oh,
happened so much.
and
Yeah.
speaking before we go back to Akeem Browder, like I said, he was caressing Timmy Caban, and Timmy Caban's protecting this guy because he donated to her campaign. He donated he donated about I think $75 to her re-election campaign. So it's probably the money goes a long way too. The donation go a long way.
And she don't
But
want the to take on the name, right? And the thing is that it wasn't his suffering. Well, his suffering as the brother of the person, right? But a lot of these people, these entourage people that come into it on the side, cause more problems than the direct person themselves. Akeem
yeah,
Browder was a victim, right? Yeah, he took taking the
no,
backpack is wrong, but I mean that not saying that that was something that he should have done. He absolutely should not have stolen the backpack, but
no, Khalif Browder,
oh
Khalif,
yeah,
not
I'm sorry.
Akeem.
Kalief
Khalif,
Browder is the real, kind of the victim here, right? But Akeem
yeah,
Browder is really going on the name and his association with this event and using it for.
yeah, for his own benefit. So, and
Yeah.
Kalief is dead. So it's just sad. Now going back to this, why we hear about Kalief Browder, because I know you, we want to, let's talk about the Green Party in a second. Let's talk about the Green Party, then I'll talk about my topic.
Okay.
Kalief Browder got endorsed. Akeem Browder got endorsed by the Green Party in 2017 for mayor. And he got a lot of heat from the grassroots people because they're like, how dare you endorse a pedophile, a pervert, like Akeem Browder for mayor? And they endorsed him. They endorsed. They told him to fuck off because they wanted to push the agenda, and they were trying to whitewash this situation. Like, oh well, the victims was saying that they never like they bullshit. First off, victims get threatened all the time, especially when the person they want to push has they got a big move with them. Victims of sexual assault gets threatened all the time, especially got licenses because if mostly the victims were black or Latino and they live in these inner districts, they usually go work as a nurse, a CNA, a security guard, or anything with a license you can get from the New York State. So what happens with these organizations, especially when they meet with the nonprofits CEOs play this game. This is what we can talk about right now with nonprofit CEOs, right? Nonprofits and elected officials and politicals play this game with victims. Like if let's say you have a nurse license and you work for the New York City hospitals. Let's say like you live in Queens, then let's say the biggest one is Elmhurst, right? So let's say they find out you're a victim and you work for New York City Health Plus Hospitals, Elmhurst section, right?
Yeah.
Now, what they will do is they'll threaten elected officials that live in that district, saying, "Look, we know they'll threaten somebody in the district that they might live in your district, or they might, let's say, you live in Brooklyn, and the elected officials, somebody they know they could take out, and they'll threaten elected saying like, we know we got this person we got a problem with, and you got to get this person fired, and if you don't get this person fired from Elmhurst, we're gonna primary you, we're gonna put someone against you, we're gonna run you out." And they have to get rid of you because it's their job over your job. Or they'll threaten the nonprofit. Hospitals are nonprofits. They will say, like, look, if you don't fire this guy or you don't fire this gal, we're gonna stop your funding from we're gonna tell the elected officials stop giving you guys money for your nonprofit. So I have a speculation that it happened to the victims from the people in the Green Party and victims and the people in the Working Families Party that they threatened those victims and they told those victims like, look, if you guys come out public saying that Akeem did this to you guys, we're gonna go to your jobs, we're gonna get you fired from your job, and we'll find a way to get you fired. And majority of those jobs they work for, if you work for a hospital or a nurses center, they usually those places are nonprofits or they get a lot of funding. They get a lot of government funding. They get a lot of foundation funding. So
Yeah.
they threaten these foundations and they threaten like, yo, we'll stop your foundation funding.
You
We'll
know,
stop your youth. We'll
other
stop your not. We'll stop your discretionary funding if you don't get rid of this person.
another thing
So
that you can see is that just the way that a lot of time the government will have a lot of functions at schools and stuff. They'll have a lot of functions at the at the hospitals.
yeah,
And the hospitals and the schools have actually become more intertwined. NYU actually owns a huge berth of hospitals, and a lot of times it's government appointees sitting on the boards of the hospitals and the government agencies as well, and the schools. And there's actually a resolving cycle of grants that go between these agencies to constantly service. They need to have a hospital person on staff to, just for the senior center or anything, right? A lot of contracts can go out, and a lot of money gets turned over. This is really this is a whole deep dive itself, as in terms of
yeah,
exploring and we know
yeah. So
the opioid crisis. They couldn't stop that because there's a
can't.
culture of keeping your mouth shut and strong hierarchy that's very strong. That's why the we take a look at the cost of the bureaucracy. It's blowing up because a lot of people be installing vice presidents under them so they can relieve themselves of responsibility or liability. It's a
Yep.
horrible. That's one of the reasons for expanding bureaucracy. It's not necessary in this day and age of computers, where a lot of the administrative tasks could be, you know, streamlined. But it's not
Yeah.
that. Instead, it's a blossoming of corruption. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. You're totally right. You're totally correct. Now let's go back to this while we're
Oh,
here.
just one more thing before you. I'm sorry. Just this Hakeem
No.
Browder stuff. I was looking it up while we are the thing. is there any way that I can find some of these stories about, or maybe pictures or video of Hakeem Browder caressing Tiffany Caban, or the
Oh,
sexual
I got
part
it.
with the other?
I'll send it right now. Go on my Twitter. I'll see the link right now. We go on
Okay,
Twitter.
I'll share it on the screen, and just so some of the audience can see, you know what I mean? Because we're talking about it, but if there's something that exists, that would probably be more convincing. You know what I mean? I'm kind of I heard about it, but then yeah, I forgot about it in the other things that I was doing.
Give me a
I'm checking
second.
my Twitter right now. By the way, just while we're checking this out, I just want to plug Christopher Leon Johnson's Twitter right now.
All right.
Christopher
Oh
John
yeah, it got a lot of
RC.
views.
Which one?
So you can go click the link. Click the link. Give me 1 second. Let me send you your Facebook. Just go on your Facebook and I'll send in the Zoom link, and then we can just go from there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm on my Twitter right now, and by the way, that's Christopher Leon Johnson.
Send the Twitter. All right, I'll send you Twitter. 1 second. The Twitter.
I guess do it on any. Yeah. Okay, it's all good. And I will put this on the.
Straight disgusting shit that Tiffany Caban. How dare she? But
Yo,
she don't
also
care.
talking about embarrassing things for DSA. Have you seen the code switching by AOC?
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah,
It's just that
AOC
she does it so
was-
badly.
Okay, you got it right there. So just click the thread. You'll see what I'm talking about when we go live. Click the thread. You'll see
Okay,
what
hold
I'm
up.
talking
I'm going there. Oh wow. Oh, okay. Wait. That looks like DVS? That's not though.
Particularly considering the deplorable condition.
Okay, wait a second. Okay, I'm gonna put this on the screen, and I'll put it so you can see it as well. Can you hear it? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear it. I can't hear it. But I'm seeing no screen share.
Okay. Give me a second. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna enable the screen share right now. Hold up. Okay. Screen share. Where is this? Okay. Screen 2. Okay, share. Okay, you should be able to see it now. Let me enable the audio.
Yeah, that's
okay.
it. Yeah, so that's the video.
Yeah. I should enable the audio. Oh man. Share sound. Okay, here we go.
Particularly considering the
Open the
deplorable
first. Open the start.
conditions on Rikers Island and the alarming rise in
I'll
death
click it.
in Rikers Island. You are perpetuating a condition where people can take
DJ.
their own.
What's that?
Start from the first start. Start from the start.
Okay.
The first second. 0 seconds. Sorry.
Acceptable.
Right here?
How about that?
Particularly considering.
I don't know.
You saw that, right?
Yeah, but it seems like she liked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So click my thread.
the
Okay, click your thread. Okay.
So I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. No, go back. Go down. Click it. Go down. Go down. Right there. You see it. You see the photo.
Yeah.
Right on the top left.
He's a sex offender. Okay, what? Top left.
Like you're kissing. See, no, go down. Go down. Go down.
Oh, she's touching him. Okay. Go down.
Go
okay.
down. Go down. Right there.
Oh
see the
shit.
photo?
Okay. Yeah.
It's like they're kissing, right?
Oh, but she looks uncomfortable after that. Yeah. Oh,
Huh?
is she kissing? Maybe. Yeah.
No, I
oh, I
think they
think.
were hugging.
Who knows? Yeah. She looks a little bit uncomfortable, but she was touching him before. Yeah.
So the video right there. Look at the video. The video.
This one.
No, the video. Next slide.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to start.
to community after incarceration.
Oh yeah, she does
To
kiss him. I
increase
hear it.
funding for mental health
I think
first
she kissed him.
responders. Anti-violence programs
Yeah.
and material support
So-
for survivors of
He's,
harm
he's a
the shit.
celebrity.
and violence. Governor Hochul,
Huh?
Yeah, he's a
we
celebrity.
must
He
tackle
got
the root
excited.
causes of mental health
Yeah.
issues.
So you see the
Instead of
fuck
simply
shit. You see the bullshit, guys.
I mean,
You
yeah,
see the
there's
bullshit.
some people,
to increase
when she sees me, she starts running. You know, what I mean, hey, I get it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man.
So-
Yes. They have their some people get fetishized. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
unfortunately, DSA is filled with rich, tall, good-looking, more money, attractive people, right? Yeah. And the thing is that people with disabilities get left behind. I'm actually talking
Yeah.
to Adapt. We're doing some more work real soon. When everybody around you looks like they're a bunch of the hipsters, I'm not saying that they don't get to be a part of it. They should be a part of it, but it shouldn't be only them. When you look around and you see no babies or old people, when you see no people with disabilities, you got to ask yourself, is this really a social service organization? So when you go to those May Day events tomorrow, when you go to that PSL event that's happening later today, right? Yeah. PSL, by the way, was at the Korea event, and they snubbed me as there's a Chinese. I think he's Vietnamese. I filmed myself, and then I said, "Yo, are we cool now?" I don't got a problem with you, right? I'm happy to see you here. He's like, at first he was friendly to me. He's like, oh wait, I remember who you are. Yeah, I'm the guy at the anti-war rally who said, why isn't Korea being included, right? Yeah, like where's the actual war victims? What's going on? Why am I not being able to speak with the, what is this? You know what I mean? And I appreciate him showing up at the Korean event now. I see them paying attention now. I'm going to drop hell in y'all face if y'all don't start. There's no reason why some groups are invited and other groups are excluded, right? They're going to be included. And you can treat me any way you want, yeah? You can make this easy or you can make this hard, but I'm coming in. That's it. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. So, sorry, I went off on my own rant.
No,
about
that's
PSL,
okay.
yeah?
Okay. But I told you about it. Yeah,
And
you're right.
yeah,
You're totally correct. You're totally correct. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, this is just crazy. I mean, just crazy, and they keep protecting this guy. It's like this Calamarton. It's the followers. It's
she's
the
kissing
money.
him. She's running up to him. I mean,
It's like
she's
it's all
touching his
cool.
chest and stuff. You've seen that, right? She
Yeah,
likes
it's like
him.
yeah,
They
she
might have
likes
hooked
him.
up afterwards.
Probably
This
fucked.
kind
They
of goes
probably
on in
fucked.
this kind of organizations, man. Yeah.
They probably fucked. They probably
They
fucking.
they
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 probably
getting
are
real
fucking.
close. You could see that.
Probably
They
are
getting real
fucking.
intimate.
Hell yeah, like that shit was like PDA. Like Jesus, that's
Yo,
like
for real,
PDA.
right? Yeah. Yo, even if
PDA.
there's a girl I smashed, I don't know that I would like have her run up to me and start kissing me in public like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if damn. I like, hey, good luck with that. Yeah, but unfortunately, yeah, this she likes the criminals, man. I guess. Yeah.
Hell yeah, she embraces the criminals. Shit, like we just saw that video, embracing the criminal.
The sex
Fucking
offenders. Yeah,
crazy. And,
like
and then she have an office. Then she have an office
yikes.
closed. Her office closed for so-called construction, but there's no permits. She doesn't want to speak to anybody because she knows she's screwed.
Meanwhile,
But
Salamander Brandy, an activist in Tennessee, right? What happened for her, right? The only one that helped was Zoran. You know what I mean? And Tiffany, I know you helped a little bit with the disabilities, just listening, but really you're not really providing the help for my man Mark Safman. He
hmm
lives in the story. He's in your district. You know what I mean? We can see your priorities, and it's kind of sad.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
Mayday.
So
Well, what's up? Let's go see some disabilities people at Mayday. They're gonna have an Asian American performer probably. I see them making some moves.
oh,
Maybe
by the way,
even a guy, a soft ass guy, not me. You're gonna see.
yeah.
That's gonna be
Speaking of
hilarious.
before, while we're here, May 2nd, there's gonna be I think 6 o'clock or 6:30. There's gonna be a rally at Cooper Union. I think it's some development stuff going on. I think Haley Kim and a lot of people running that event. Hosted on
Hmm.
May 2nd. Mark Sapp invited me out to that, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go out and support that. I'm going out there to support that.
Oh,
So
talking
Monday.
about the Grace Lee thing just for a moment too. Not a single, even though Grace Lee is a historical first for Korean Americans, so is Linda Lee, so is
Ron
Julie
Kim,
One, Ron Kim, right? Yeah, none of them showed
Sandra
up at the
Oh.
Korea Reunification rally.
Yeah, they ain't gonna show up for that because the People Forum. People Forum has a big control of that, and they don't show up People Forum. People Forum is technically like socialists or communists, so they're not gonna show up for that. Mainly, you say they're communists, but they're not showing up for that. They won't show up for that
Why not?
because it's mostly they mingle with the communists.
Politics?
Yep, it's the ideologies of it. It's more like communists and stuff like that. They don't care.
I'm not really. Yeah, look, that's that's bizarre.
Yeah.
That seems
So
extreme to me. You know what I mean?
all right, so let's move. Let's
Whatever.
move
Okay, let's
forward.
move on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's move
Okay.
forward because we're going to be boring the people with this stuff.
I'm sorry.
So
Yeah.
we
Okay.
So same day, I told you to go out to the Korean thing. I know you had a great time over there with Denise. Shout out to Denise Martinez. His birthday was this past week, and I was at the first responder story hour. Now we had a thing at the pre-show about first responder story hour. So people got to stand. What happened with this was, first responder story hour was technically like a response to the drag queen story hour. This one was held by Joanne Areola. She's the current council member for the 32nd district in New York City. It covers Ozone Park, Little Park, Richmond Hill, um, Bell Harbor, Hamilton Beach. Howard Beach is the domicile district, and Rockaway Beach. So recently, it was at Howard Beach branch, the Old Howard Beach Queens Public Library branch on 156th Avenue, by the Q53 bus. If you guys go there, it's not that far. Um, and it was an hour long. You had the NYPD there, mainly Cops for Freedom. You had Bravers of Choice for there. They were reading our books. They was telling what they do. They was putting the uniform on. You had a retired cop explaining his job, undercover cop, explaining his job as undercover cop to the kids. It was mainly for the kids. It wasn't for the adults. It was for the kids. So it was a great event. It was beautiful. I felt like a kid because because it was like educational. It was real educational. Um, real educational of what happened, and it was good. Now it didn't get a lot of it got a little controversy, it got a little heat, it got a little backlash from the Antifa because they're like, how dare them host an event for that? Um, and because they try to bring up somebody's past who was there, Arthur Rodon. They try to bring up his past from a prior rape accusation. So when Arthur was 28, he runs Cop for Freedom. He's an active cop right now. His name is Arthur Rodon. He runs Cop for Freedom. They technically Cop for Freedom is like an organization that they're against the mandates. They're against the you know what mandates. So Talia Jane, I think you heard of her. You know Talia Jane, the so-called activist reporter. I don't call her activist, I just call her a troublemaker, agitator. She had the nerve to bring up his past when he was 28 years old without even saying that he didn't even get convicted of allegedly raping his girlfriend that time. People get accused of things all the time. Now, unless there's a conviction, it's still an accusation. That's how I see things. Unless you get convicted of the crime, it's still an accusation. Now, when you accuse somebody of rape and trying to use that still against them without them being convicted, that could open you up to a lot of slander charges, could open you up to a lot of libel. It is kind of messed up of how Talia Jane tried to bring him down because he tried to do the right thing and tried to do something for his community and serve the community and by reading books to kids. It's better than just trying to be a so-called influencer and getting people to take footage and then send it to you and then trying to run the footage like you was actually there. I'd rather be reading that book to kids or handing out food to the homeless or serving clothes to the homeless than just being an influencer all day,
I
right?
feel you on
That's
that, yeah.
me.
But the
It's
thing is
just
that the
crazy.
Hakeem Browder could make a similar argument, right? Like, there's a accusation against me. Oh, he was convicted, but he's convicted. But he could say, oh, that was in the past. I'm trying to just do something positive here. You know what I mean? So I get that. But yeah, to Leah Jane, I agree with you. She's not really doesn't seem to be helping people. The event that just to tell you the truth, I have some ties to Antifa myself, or Antifa, whatever you listen. You rules maker, Antifa, whatever people yell, y'all hilarious. But I think that this event is actually positive. I think that it's good for this is there should be some tolerance for dissent, right? Yeah, true anarchists, right, would allow space for dissent. So you can't have all of one mind. And I understand the drag queen, the people, their side, and their how they feel like they need to push that. But I think that I get what you're saying as a kid, right? That would be cool for me to have a first responder story or to hear from an undercover cop as a little kid. I could see that would be super exciting
Hell
and
yeah.
cool. So there's no reason why you should take away from a program. This program seems like a positive way. Seems like something that kids would enjoy, and I
Yeah.
support it. Yeah, and if we actually have a broader discussion, I think that's a healthy thing. Yeah, so I appreciate that. I'm sorry. Yeah, go
No,
on.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're totally correct. It was good. It was a beautiful thing. But like I said with Talia Jane, like we don't know what she's about. She's trying to get paid and making herself look good for social media, but she's not really out there for the community, help people out in the community. Like, how dare you try to knock down somebody for trying to do something positive with the community? I can stand somebody advocate for something and you call it out, but
She
Arthur
would
was an
accuse him
advocate.
being a rapist, but then she's gonna go to the jail right afterwards and say you are not alone. Like she says that she's like there for all the prisoners and stuff. So it's weird that she's trying to send someone to jail using the criminal justice system and make accusations, and then at the same time support people who are former rapists because she'll do that too.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, I
Closing
know. I
all the
understand.
jails, stuff like that, letting everybody out. Like, why do you? If
Yeah,
this guy was a rapist, like he'd just be out anyways. If Telly gets her way. So where's
yeah,
the? How does it even make any sense?
yeah. It doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make no sense at all.
I'm confused.
So her, there's something with her, just like like we don't know what she's about,
She
and
wants to
she
close
wants to.
all the jails, right? So
Yeah.
so if this guy's a rapist, so what? It doesn't. Talia, I invite you on my program. I'm not trying to pick on you, okay? Right?
Hmm.
I think that you're really committed somehow, right? You show up, but you're. I'm confused by you.
Yeah,
So
like
go ahead.
yeah, like I said, accusation. He got accused of it. He was 28 years old, and he didn't get convicted. So it still comes an accusation. An accusation means that it could be true or not true. It's like a rumor. A rumor could be not true or true. So this is what you got to worry about in 2020 these days. Is like before you know what I mean. It just crazy. So going, but it was a great event. It was held by it was you had Arthur there, you had Sophie Medina from Brave with Your Choice, you had and then you had people from the community that was there. It was an hour and that's it. It was a beautiful event. Now, while we're here with the cop stuff, now we're here with the police, with the NYPD, and so like that. We can talk about this thing. I went to this past weekend, yesterday, be exact. We're still in Sunday, so just say Saturday. About know your rights. Now we'll talk
Wait,
about this right now. We could,
before we get into that, I just want to bring up one more thing. Yeah, the thing is that this I think this coming week, May 3rd or something like that, close to that, there's something called the Green Alliance Sovereign Rights Movement is actually inviting gays against groomers to their event to speak about some type of issues. And you said you have some knowledge about now gays against groomers. I had thought that they were actually associated with Guardians of Divinity, because I've
they're
seen,
not.
but they do events together, right?
Technically, what happens is
I don't
gay
know
group
yet.
will set an event and then they'll show up to support.
Okay.
But Guardians of the Divinity, like there's some clowns. Now,
What is Gays
I think
Against
you see
Groomers?
the
Because
whole
I'm interested to see who's
Gays Against
presenting at these
Groomers is an
green events.
organization. They get technically against pedophiles, they're against pedophilia. Now the biggest topic with the pedophilia, especially with the political spectrum, is the drag queen story hour situation. So they have a big thing against it because there's a lot of pedophiles, registered sex offenders that receive kids all over the country. Not New York City, because New York City, the Queens Public Library and the New York Public Library, even the Brooklyn Public Library, the Queens, New York covers Manhattan, Staten Island, and the Bronx. So you got to remember this. So there's no Bronx Public Library and there's no Staten Island Public Library. So we have the Brooklyn Public Library, we have the New York Public Library, and you have the Queens Public Library. Those three vet the people that going to read those books to those kids. They will never have a sex offender read those books to those kids. Now, people got to understand about the drag queens in New York City. They're real strict about that. They vet these people like nothing. Now, the whole Oliver Face situation, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's kind of like a flaw because Oliver Face has some photos of her like with blood and all this stupid shit. So that could be kind of like a red flag. But Oliver Face is not a sex offender. But there's certain places in Europe and like all the country where these organizations or these libraries will let like full blown sex offenders, like registered sex offenders, read books to their kids. And Gays Against Groomers is fighting against that. And I have no problem with Gays Against Groomers fighting against pedophilia. I'm against pedophilia. Now, with Guardians of the Affinity, Guards of Clown, I like to call them the Dusty Bums of the Guardians of Affinity. The problem with them is they are radical, but they're stupid. It's not like within our like Nerdy Kwasani and within our lifetime and the other. That's what I'm talking about. What we're gonna go on the next topic. They're radical and they're smart. Guardians of Divinity is they're radical and stupid. And you start looking at optics. Let's talk about optics. The big difference from the within our lifetime Nerdy Kwasani optics and your Guardians of Divinity David Gallo or David Nieves or Deanna Morgan or DeAndre optics. It's a big difference. Now we look at the first optics, but within a lifetime, you see that they wear uniforms. They wear certain uniform. They might wear certain pants. Say, or we wearing this today, tactical pants, or we wearing denim. We wearing this. We're wearing a certain kafuya. We're wearing certain t-shirts. We have armbands on our head on our arms. So just can't we the ones that's going to get arrested, or we're the ones that leading it. We're the marshals. Um, we're gonna organize a rally at this time. We don't speak to press. We don't give the press a time of day. You know, they just did recorders and that's it. We're gonna do this a certain way, and we don't give a fuck about the photo op. We don't care about a photo op. And they say certain chants, and they do it to a way where yeah, they're radical. I like their radicalism. I like the WL's radicalism. I love the Nirdi Kusani radicalism because they're smart with the radicalism. Now, versus the Guardians of Divinity radicalism, where they look disheveled, they look unorganized, they look out of sync, and when they start saying stuff, nobody could ever take them seriously. Now, when I'm talking about with the Guardians of Divinity, this is where I got a big problem with them. I'll tell them their face. yeah, you guys are clowns. You guys are embarrassment to the GOP. You guys are embarrassment to Republicans. You guys are embarrassment to conservatives. You guys are embarrassment to the movement. Is you guys look out of sync. You guys have no organization. You guys just look like y'all came out of bed. Y'all guys act like y'all come out of bed this morning, didn't take a shower, and then just want to be a fucking, and then just want to start thinking y'all gonna shut things down. That's the thing with them. Now, when you see them out there with Guardian Divinity, of course they're against the drag queen story hour, right? They're against the pedophilia. They're against all
Okay.
this stupid shit. Okay, whatever. But there's a difference of you having a press conference or you bring the bullhorn and say, look, we against the pedophilia of the kids. We against the Queen Public Library. Bring it in the bad people. Bring it in bad people to teach the kids, to read the kids about the drag queens, about stuff, and pushing the agenda into to the kids' heads. We are sick and tired of the using of these elected officials just as Sheikha Kirshen and Jessica Ramos and Jennifer Rojas and the Queensboro president and the Manhattan Borough president and Julie Menon and all these elected officials driving our tax dollars into the drag queen story hour. Put that money and put to something else like into like real kids programs like the bio bus or anything like that. There's a big difference of doing that instead of just going out there just trying to live stream and calling people faggots and calling people like I'm gonna fuck you up. Oh, come see me, this and that. And then you have Deanna, stupid ass, deep throating every badge that she could fucking see at trying to lie bootlicking at the events. There's a big
She is like,
difference.
look, I like these cats, and to tell you the truth, the type of people that like roll out of bed, like they're the people that I kind of like, being formerly homeless. Like they're the people that I probably sync up most with. But I'm not. I get what you're saying. I see some my man Reverend Keith Gatson is dressing in the suits and stuff like that, and he's gotten a lot of benefits off of that. I respect your work deeply. I just tend to naturally vibe with people like that's like Guardians. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, like I
Yeah,
got love
so
for
that's
you,
the
man.
thing. Yeah, I
I'm just
just
on
say,
that.
yeah,
I'm just on the energy level. Yeah.
yes, I understand, but it's like you just stop coming out there looking disheveled, looking like you just came out of bed this morning and acting like you're trying to you're trying to shut things down. You're not shutting it down. You look like a fucking idiot doing that. They're looking like idiots doing it. Now, that's why nobody cares about them. Nobody takes them seriously. And the whole thing about the Eric Botcher situation just made them worse. So I say about Guardian Divinity, they don't understand that there's a difference of being a radical
Okay,
and
so
being
right, look, Guardian Divinity, right? Yeah, they're not perfect, but everybody's gonna have the different opinions on them, right? Yeah, you don't like them at all, right? Yeah, and some things you said was, it has elements of truth in it for real. Yeah, that's hard. It's a harsh way to say it, but I am mad. You know what I mean? I feel like a little bit more, look, they're not perfect either, right? But
yeah, no one's perfect. I'm not
I
perfect.
think
I
they're,
have my
yeah,
flaws, but I know how to
I
act.
kind of
I know
like
how
them.
to
Yeah,
behave myself when I come to these
yeah.
events.
But
I know how to even. Yeah,
the group I was really interested in is Gays Against Groomers, because the thing is
yeah.
that I think they also didn't they also go with Guardians of the Galaxy to the Eric Botcher stuff?
No,
I
they
want.
did it. They will never
Oh, I
do
don't
that.
know.
They will never do that. They did it.
Okay.
Guardian City did that themselves because
Oh, okay.
They got mad that Eric called them some extremists and all. He
I
called
don't know
them.
what happened there. Yeah.
Eric Barker told the truth, and they got mad. So they decided to go to his office. That didn't work. So later on, they actually went to his house
So
and
so where
try
did
to do.
Gays and Groomers who like I I'm glad that I know that Gays Against Groomers isn't Guardians of Divinity, right? I want to know if they're their own thing. Like, who are
They own
they? Why would they
they
be
own
presenting the
thing.
green rights? It
They
seems
their
like more of
own
a
thing.
right
They their own.
wing type of thing, right? But they're
Yeah.
presenting green. That's interesting, right? So what is
Yeah, they're,
this?
they're their own thing. They do their own thing, and it's ran by Chaya Rajic. She's a Jewish chick. I think she's based in D.C. She's like a consultant, a lobbyist, and a political commentator.
Yeah.
So basically, that's what they do. And she got a couple books out. They posted at an event the same day of the Drag Queen Story Hour. The same time Tish James had her Drag Queen Story Hour, but they had to cancel that Drag Queen Story that their event because Antifa threatened them because if you understand about the place that they was going to do it at, anybody could just walk in and go upstairs and do damage. It's not like other places where you got to go. It's like only elevator banks and the stairs are closed. You could just walk up to 3 West 51st Street. It's kind of like an old school building. They got an elevator bank on the right, but you could just walk. The stairwell will go to the floors on the left. So that's the thing what happened with them. So they had to cancel the event.
Okay. So when Gays Against Groomers, it just seems like the people who are going against the drag king store hour, there's just very few of them. So it's just interesting to know like that there's
Because
different factions and stuff.
nobody takes them seriously. Nobody takes the organization seriously. Nobody when we talk to people that has no problem mingle with Proud Boys and mingle with neo Nazis,
Well,
mingle
Gays
with
Against
anti.
Groomers in this case, it seems like they're actually making some advancement here, right? They're actually presenting at the Green Alliance Sovereign Rights Movement. So it seems like they caught on, and actually the Green Party here in New York, or some semblance of it, that's very interesting. You know, like to me, anyways.
Yeah, but the Nigari Vinny they mingle with the neo Nazis. They mingle with anti Semites. One of the people defended anti Semitic Nick Fuentes to be exact. One of them was praising the Proud Boys when they were there. Oh, this is some crazy shit that
I,
we were
I,
doing.
I, I hear about this stuff, and I tell you the truth, that stuff does disturb me, and I feel nervous about it. But when I'm in their faces saying, "Look, I support trans people" and stuff like that, they don't start yelling at me. They don't start putting me down. They don't start attacking me. They don't threaten
One of
me.
them,
They
one of the
say
people that
actually,
actually
they
against,
say,
one of the people
"Damn
that
you."
actually against,
Huh?
one of the people that actually against the director story hour is actually trans. Her name is Juliet Germanta. She's actually trans. So it's just like it'd be kind of like hilarious to be against trans people when you got a trans person in
I
your
mean,
group.
I tell them this
So that's the
stuff
thing
and
with
they
them.
don't attack me. All they say really to me that I've seen so far is either they'll not talk to me, right? Yeah, that happens sometimes. Like that they'll look confused, or they'll say like, "I look, I said I was having ties to Antifa. I understand why they're scared." But then I also they also come to me and they say "Oh, you're one who's actually willing to talk to us," versus the other ones they just treat us like crap. That's what I hear again and again, and this is in footage that I've recorded. So I feel like if they were really right as racist and anti all this stuff, they would tell me to f off. That's what I think.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. And when
So
that happens, I'll tell them to f off right back. You know, I won't back down. But so
yeah,
far,
me too.
yeah,
Like me as
so far they haven't done that to me, and I've recorded all of it. If they do, hey, I'm not gonna take that. But I'm not white,
yeah,
obviously, and they did nothing but polite to me so far. It's real.
yeah, you're correct. So now yeah, you're correct
Okay.
about that. But I think it's the rumor. So let's go to another topic.
All right, yeah. Know your
Let's talk
rights. This
about.
is very interesting, man. Hell yeah, let's get to it.
So yesterday I was at an event that was in Elder Street, like 39 Elder Street. I forgot. I think it was called. I think I got the exact place of the location, but this is what happened. So there was a Know Your Rights organization, Know Your Rights event. It was hosted by the Palestinian Youth Movement. It was hosted by CUNY Clear. They definitely like lawyers that deal with like civil rights and stuff like that. And then you had this other organization called Abuya Khan Queens, Abuya Nakan Manhattan. It's like a Filipino organization that's against Marcos. The Booyah Khan is good. They deal with they mingle with their lifetime. They mingle with the Palestinian Youth Movement, and but they mingle with the People's Forum, but they're against Marcos. So they mingle with the Answer Coalition. But they're against Marcos. Now, what happened yesterday, and I said I'm not mad. I'm not really upset about it, and I totally understand because there was the first part of slides that was called. They was bringing up certain things
Wait.
about
Who's Marcos?
COINTELPRO.
Who's Marcos?
Marcos, the president. He's the prime minister. I think he's the president of or the prime minister of Philippines.
Okay.
So he run the show in the Philippines. So they're against Marcos, and I understand it. They're against Marcos. Now, what happened? What happened was the first part of slides. I was trying to take a live recording, and I told you I'm saying. So they say, "Oh, out of respect for the people, we don't want this stuff to be out there. Can people stop recording?" So I say, "Okay, I'm fine. I'm about to be done." So I cut it off. Now, what happened was they were saying about some stuff about COINTELPRO and certain movements, and about how Israel trains the police. Now, Israel trains the police about in America, which I think is true. They do. They go over there, they train the cops, they bring these clowns back, and they start doing their fuck shit, especially with the SRG. As I said, the hashtag disband the SR, disband SRG, this hashtag disband SRG, disband the SRG. What happens? What happens is they was going to a lot of things, and then they asked me to delete. Can you stop taking photos of the slides? Okay, fine, whatever. So I stopped taking photos of the slides. So when I left, somebody approached me saying, "Can you delete the photos that you have on your Instagram?" I was like, "Yeah, I deleted everything." So that was that. But let's go back to let's well, know your rights. I think we should talk about this. You know, that was happened at the event. I'm not mad at all. It happens because it was kind of sensitive. I should have done that, but it's whatever. But going back to the to know your rights. Let's talk about this right now, guys. It's real serious that we know our rights at these events because these cops be messing with people. These cops want to find a way to dismantle events, not give out permits, um, get people arrested. And I'm not a big fan of getting arrested. I tell nobody not to get arrested for a crime or anything at these rallies. But there's certain things we gotta know about our rights at these events. Because if you don't know your rights, then you will be fucked. I'll tell people this right now. And it's one thing that you gotta be careful. Anytime, be careful. Is try not to speak to anybody that you don't know. Try to be careful of answering questions. Try not to answer any questions that you know or you feel that somebody's trying to get information out of you because they could be working for the police. Most of the time, they are working for the police. And I'll talk about this right now. There's certain people that get paid to give info to the cops. There's paid informants, or there's people that want some deals for giving out information to the police. So you have to be careful when you start talking to everybody or talking to anybody with a press pass. Bless you, brother.
Sorry.
Talking to anybody with a press pass, with a New York City press pass about your organization. They didn't bring up the informants stuff. That's a different topic. But that's the thing. I'll give you guys advice when you're an organizer, when you especially when you're activists, and especially when you're trying to do things against the mainstream, against the vocal New Yorks, against the Make the Roads, against these bougie government funded, foundation funded movements. You have to be careful. You have to be real careful. So best thing to do, I can tell people, do not speak to the press. Do not speak to the media. Do not speak to anybody that you do not know. And especially if they come to you and trying to get information out of you like they're a cop. Because you will learn the hard way of how that information can be used against you. And especially when you go in front of those cameras, how that can be used against you. And like I said, this is one thing I respect about with that lifetime, like Nirdi Kosani and her people, is that they don't do that shit. They don't speak to the press. They don't speak to anybody they don't know. And they give you that energy where it's like they don't want you to come talk to them. Don't talk to us. Right? So you have to understand this type of stuff. Now, going back to know your rights with cops, like I say, they do a lot of this, they do a lot of fucked up things to the people. That's why I'm really totally against the SRG, because they're like the worst and everything. All they want to do is try to justify their budgets and justify getting more money from us. That's all they do. That's all they care about. That's all they care about in 2023. And these days is getting money for their budget. So, we arrested some people. There was like a scuffle. There was like a riot. So we had to come out there. That's all they care about. And then you have to care about the people that's like what I call agent provocateurs or agent conjurators that will do anything they got to do to make your movement look bad, make your movement look horrible. And this is why I have a problem with the Guardians of Divinity, because they do this stuff. Those guys look the shell. They look unoptical. They look stupid. They look retarded, and they go out there and they make things look bad. They did this recently at an anti-socials event. They was out there harassing elected officials. In the media, what the media did, they took those people and they try to make the movement look bad. We had a girl with a "Make NYPD Great Again" hat was harassing elected officials. That's Deanna Morgan, aka Deanna DeAndre, who had that piece of shit "Make NYPD Great Again" had her fat ass out there harassing elected officials at City Hall steps. So that's her in a nutshell.
You actually gave a good point though, right? Like when you talked about her deep throating like every badge that comes through. That was harsh, but things like that, right, make me feel like she's authentic. It makes me feel like that's really how she thinks, and that's really who she is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
Yeah.
You think if there might be people who's paid to do this, you know what I mean? And who knows, right? But out of all of them, I think Deandra is kind of like, she is who she is, but I feel like that's really who she is. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
And that's all she could be. All she could be is who she is.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? But it's a thing. But that's what they do to make movies look bad. They get those certain bad actors and they put them in these circles, and they'll fuck everything up. So that's the thing about know your rights about calling to a pro. And that's the thing you got people to understand about how when you have a movement and when you have a certain organization and you're going against the powers that be, you're going against the status quo. You have to be careful of the people that you think that are working for your best interests, that you think that are working for your best will, but majority of the time they're not. And what they're going to do is they're going to divert what you're doing for the status quo. This is why I'm real careful of who I mingle with, and I will tell people like I don't need we don't need your help, and I don't need you around because all you're gonna do is fuck people. All you're gonna do is fuck me, fuck what I got going on, because we don't know what you're working for and who you're working with. So this is what people gotta understand when you know your rights, and especially with police, you gotta understand about the stuff they do and the bad actors they'll send to mess your movement up, which can get you civically and even criminally charged. Because these days they can even sue you for even hosting an event that get people hurt. This is what's going on with the whole injury. We'll talk about this topic right after this, guys, about the injury hatred they have it out against Nuruddin Quasani and within a lifetime because now recently this guy, one of the guys got he put it down to a crime. He pled it down to a crime that he attacked this guy named Joey Borgen, and he pled it for 18 months jail time in prison because he attacked Joey Borgen in 2021 at a Israel versus Palestine rally in Times Square. So if we can get off from that, we want to talk about this next topic.
Well, no, this actually one thing about the know your rights too when they ask you to delete those photos or whatever, right? Technically,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to delete those photos, right? That's
Yeah, I I
I
don't
do it
have to
just to
do it.
be polite. Yeah, I don't want to
Yeah,
have
I
beef,
want to
but
be
go ahead.
polite, and I really care about them. I really care what they do. I actually support what they do. I like the radical stuff, so I
Hmm.
will support the radical stuff. I'm not mad at all about that. It's not
Yeah,
it's not upsetting of that they actually lead. I respect them. It's about respect, and I care about them.
but
So
yeah,
if I did it right. I say, hey, stay here. And you see my Instagram and you see my Twitter, and I'll delete every photo right in your face. You can see it live
yeah.
TV in your face. I delete it for her. I respect, and I say, hey, I delete everything. Look, my
Yeah.
Twitter.
I mean
My
I like the event too, like the whole idea of like know your rights, but one of your rights
Yeah,
just so
it's
you know
good to know.
as a yeah,
It's good to know your rights. It's good to know your
yeah.
rights because you never know what's going to happen.
But
You
as an
might need.
independent citizen, you're allowed to photograph, you're allowed to video anything that taking place in a public space. That's all
Hmm.
fair game. So
Yeah.
if someone says that, look, you might want a lot of things you have to document. Like I've been telling like other people that I do activist work for, right? You do all this stuff and you go back later and you have no proof that these things occurred, and
That's true.
you're telling people, and it's so tragic. That's why that's one of the main things I do in my activism to help these people to document what they're going through, and that they've submitted these requests and things like that, and then they can't run away and say, oh, I didn't know about it, I didn't hear about it, I didn't nothing. Yeah. And a lot of times when you're at these events, right, I like to cooperate with police as much as possible. There, a lot of people are activists supposedly anti-cop. I'm not anti-cop. I'm not pro-cop either. I'm just let's be fair. What's fair is fair. And when they do their job, they should be rewarded. When they don't do their job, they should be punished. It's simple, right? But the thing is that these what are they saying the cops? Anyways, they're on the streets with us, participating, and they got to be respected. And a lot of times they can make things work out. So um, when we have these, when they ask you to do something, a lot of times that's how they manipulate you. There is like some manipulation that cops do, and they have their orders, right? When you're an activist and they put you into pens and stuff like that. So they'll say, "I want," like at the event, they ask people to turn off their phones and their devices. You technically wouldn't have to do that, and they might not talk if you do that. They also have the right to do that as well. But in a public space, you can keep recording and document everything. I would recommend just as much as you can document everything just for your own safety and protection, because later on something can pop off and people will start denying shit. Have that proof.
Yep.
Yeah.
So speaking of while we're here, and we'll talk to jump to this next topic right now. This happened this week, and I'm surprised that these elected officials didn't want to bring this up. what happened with this whole injury hatred controversy. Now, people got to understand this is what had go back to the last topic of how this organization, the Palestinian Youth Movement, is and near the Kusani and with a lifetime is near what's his organization? Andrew Hatred. So recently, what happened this week in the whole situation in 2021? What happened this week was with Andrew Hatred, they had a couple of successes, but they had a little controversy. Recently, one of the guys who attacked Joey Borgen was convicted. He pleaded guilty to a assault crime with a hate crime. So he had to do 18 months in prison with a hate crime against Joey Borgen.
Actually, I'm so sorry. I just want to ask you something about because it has to do with the Marine thing, right? You said they don't talk to press and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But then, I have to ask, because you saw the email that I sent to them last week, right? When I told them, look, I want to work with you guys. They're nervous about working with me, and I understand for the reasons that you cited, right? This COINTELPRO, blah, 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 whatever. But then why are they even doing the rally in the first place? Because the thing is that, aren't they really doing the rally to... No, I'm not... I want to know, right? Aren't they doing the rally to build a coalition, to build the support, to contact people like myself who would be willing to help them in their... Right? So when I go to the rally and I find their information because I want to help them, and I send them contact and they don't get back to me, what is the purpose of the rally then?
Probably there. Is it? I don't really know.
So some people, yeah, they do push back on me and say, look, I don't talk to press, I don't talk to people like you, but I say, wait a second, aren't you an activist? Don't you want to get this message out? So that's why I feel confused, because sometimes I do at these events, and some things you said are starting to make some sense to me, but overall, I do think that they should have someone to try to, because there's people out there like myself, so, and that actually causes, right, as I document this, their refusal to work with me, right, or the fact that they don't get back to me, it discourages others from working with them.
Yeah, it does. It does. I think a few people don't work with them because of what went down. It just because the way they are. I mean, I'm not trying to knock them down, but I totally get their
I get that
approach.
too, yeah. But
I
that's
totally
the
get their
price.
approach. It's a price you got to pay for having that approach. You don't have a lot of people work with you. Me, I'll work with them. I have no problem covering the events because it's interesting. I actually care about the Palestinian people. I support Linda Sarsour. I actually support a lot of Palestinian activists. As much as you might people think, I'm not a Zionist at all. I don't believe in Zionism. I mean, it's just crazy what Zionism is. I don't believe in Zionism at all. Just be exact with that. If I was a Zionist, I would be showing these Palestinian events. You know what I mean? And I would yesterday. Let's go back to before we get into this next topic. The lady said, delete the photo. Why do you delete the photo for? I don't need to delete the photo. I would cause a problem there. But I don't. Not that I'm not the type of person to cause a problem for bullshit, right?
Yeah.
I actually care about the Palestinian people. As much as I support the Jewish people, I support I support the Palestinian people too. If let's say the Palestinians are getting hurt, I'll show up their press conference and cover it. I'll even speak with them. I'll even speak for them. I'll even press elected officials saying, "Look, if you don't fucking do this for these people, Palestinians, we're gonna fucking put people against you. We're gonna vote your ass out." And that's what the Palestinians need to start doing. The Palestinians just start fucking saying, "Look, you know what? You elected officials not doing your job. You guys don't care about the Palestinian. Y'all care about the Jew more than the Palestinian. Y'all care about these Zionists more than the Palestinian. Now, here's what's going to happen. If you guys don't show your respect for the Palestinian and say y'all stand with the Palestinians, we're going to put people against you. We're going to bankroll them, and we're going to get you. We're going to vote your asses out of office." And there's a few of them that need to be voted out of office in the city council from these Palestinians. Start putting these people against these elected officials like Justin Brannon for going against the Palestinians. That's what will be my advice. So people try to say, "Well, I don't care about the Palestinians." Y'all full of shit. Because I can suggest some names. Say, look, these are people that the Palestinians should start running against Justin Brannon and certain elected officials, and put somebody behind them and organize behind them, and then run these fuckers out of office. But this is what you guys start doing instead of just rallying all day. Put that to political power. That'll be my advice for the Palestinians. Not just rallying, and doing. That's part of it. Great. People scared of you guys. Great. But where's the political power? That's why I would suggest start running people against the elected officials and vote their asses out. That'd be my advice. Now, going back to this past week, Andrew Hatred Day yesterday was Andrew Hatred Day, right?
Yeah.
Andrew Hatred Day. Hashtag Andrew Hatred Day. So without that going down, we have a little controversy. So on Thursday, there was a state meeting. Recently, was a stated meeting. That means they vote for a lot of bills, that introductions and resolutions that are to the floor of the city council. So the intro for Intro Hatred Day to be recognized in New York City was on the floor. Intro 487 that was introduced by Council Member Ina Vernikov, Republican, covers the 48th district. She said that. Now with her, she had a lot of yeses. You had four absentees. You had Jennifer Gutierrez, councilman for the 34th, that she run against Paperboy Prince to be exact. Then you had Alexa Libas. Alexa Libas is part of DSA. Alexa Libas worked within a Lifetime Palestine, so of course she's going to be against the Intro Hatred Bill, and we'll get to that later of why Intro Hatred Bill got a lot of controversy, and I'll explain what'll go down. Then Rita Joseph, and then you had Charles Barron, who made something about, well, like the Jews don't stand with the Palestinians, the Jews don't stand with this, and that. So I'm gonna stand. Then you had Sandy Nurse, who said no. And then you had Shahana Hanif that said no, but then she said, like, I'm saying no because the organization that is part of this bill is right wing. And I don't want to work with the right wing. So it got a lot of controversy on the internet because of that, because of the no's. Now, going back to Intro Hatred Day. Now, what happened? I'm for the day because I'm for it because we need Intro Hatred. And the thing what happened with this day was, and I totally get from the progressives what went down, because the people that runs that organization, I'm not here to shit on them because I work with them. They mainly work with the Republican Party, and they support Donald Trump. So it got a lot of concern about from people with the progressives saying, like, well, this supports, you guys supported Trump, you guys are supporting the right wing when y'all doing this stuff. Okay, fine. Now, the one thing that I didn't hear not one councilman bring up when they were saying no or they abstained was, okay, fine. Intro Hatred is, they work with the right wing. They work with the right wing party. They work with the what's the other party? Right wing. They work with Trump. Fine. But why won't they didn't say that, wait a minute, to this month is National Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And they have it out against harassing Niradine. They didn't even bring up, like, wait, this organization or the people that's a part of that Mingles organization has no issue with harassing women. But this month is National Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Somebody should have brought that up. But they didn't bring it up at all. When they were saying no, or saying yes, or they were saying abstained. So it's just a lot of things. What went down with that bill was, it was the people behind the bill. Ina, I don't think Ina is a radical right winger, but her track record, and this is where people understand, is who the people you mingle with and the people you tolerate will always come out to bite you in the ass. Well, the people that bite you in the ass, that can make you look like you're this or you're that. Make you like you're just ultra left winger or you're this ultra right winger. Now, there's certain people that she stands next to, it just don't look good, and she has no problem standing next to. Now, if you look on Ina's Twitter page, her a pinned tweet is a photo of her and Ron DeSantis. So it just didn't look good for her when it just doesn't look good when she says, I don't, like, yeah, you pinned a picture with Ron DeSantis, act like you took a picture with God, So it don't look good at all. It didn't look good. So it just raised a lot of concerns with people, and that's why they probably voted for the bill. I don't think they hate Jews. I don't think they have a hatred for Jews. It's just the people that's behind that bill, they wouldn't want to support. Now, going back to Intro Hatred, and this is where you got to understand what's going on, is they have it out against Within a Lifetime. They have it out against Niradine. They have it out against people that speak for the Palestinian people. Now, this is the one thing that Barron brought up, is that they don't fight for the Palestinian. They don't fight for the Palestinian. They fight for their own people. And that's one thing they gotta start working on, is like, you gotta really respect free speech. You have to respect it, because if you don't respect free speech and try to make it like, well, you have it out.
You said they don't fight for the Palestinians; they fight for the Brionne people. What did you say?
Yeah, they fight for their own people. That was Barron said.
Their own people.
They don't fight for the Palestinian. That was Barron brought up, and he, To be honest, he was correct. He was a little correct about that. Like yeah, there's certain people, there's certain Jewish organizations that only fight for their own people, but they don't fight for the Palestinians. Some of these guys have the nerve to say that Palestinians don't exist. They do exist. I don't care. I'll say it on this TV show or this show. Palestinians do exist. But there's some Jewish people and some prominent Jewish actors that say Palestinians do not exist. Palestinians do exist, guys. They do exist. Um, so, and that would piss a lot of people off. Now, um, so going back to that, it just like they should have brought certain things up when they were saying no about the bill. We had to end Jew hatred day. We need to end every day. We had to end Palestinian hate. We got to end Muslim hate. We got to end Korean hate. We got to end Asian hate.
You also held some people accountable for not signing that bill. Why do you think now ending Jew hatred seems like kind of like an easy sign on, right? It seems like what are you for Jew hatred? Why do you think these people, and you can name them if you want, why would they not sign it? It seems a little weird.
Because of the people that's behind the bill. It's the organization that helped draft the bill. It's the person that introduced the bill to the city council, and who are the people she tied to. It raises a lot of concerns. It raises a lot of concerns. And she and Ina, and the sad thing about Ina didn't even respond to the even respond to Shahana Hanif for sending her, mainly Shahana Hanif because she brought it up in the first place, or Charles Barron about them saying this stuff, because I think they know it's true, and I think they know that they are scared of them bringing out certain names like, yeah, you work with this person, you work with this media person, Viral News NYC, that I don't fuck with. I don't care about the guy. Me and him beefing. I don't give a fuck. Viral News NYC, aka Oren Levy, that he covers anti-vaccine events. He covers anti-vaxxer events like it's nothing. He had his first account in New York City, New York Press, had like over 300,000 subscribers, and he had a lot of subscribers on Instagram, but it got deleted because he was covering mainly all New York freedom rallies. So when he was covering all those freedom rallies, they deleted his account. And the thing is, like, of course people will say like, well, wait a minute, you work with Oren Levy, you work with Leroy Press, you follow him on Instagram, you follow him on Facebook, you follow him, on Twitter. So don't say that you guys don't. Stop denying it. Stop acting like you guys don't work together. And that's the thing they'll easy bring up. It's like, you work with Oren Levy, you work with Leroy Press. So it comes a big concern about that when people start saying like, yeah, works with anti-vaxxers. Oren Levy's a big example. And there's a few people that she works for. You like, man, like, you cannot lie when this get brought up in your face. I respect you, Ina, but let's be real. When if this ever get brought up to your face, like, the proof's in the pudding. Stop playing around, because you gotta remember, you're elected official. You have the right to run what you want to run.
So
right?
I'm
Don't
sorry,
act like.
I got lost for a moment because we were talking about end Jew hatred, and then it became something about like anti-vaxxing. What's the tie here? I'm sorry.
The person that's backing the bill, Ina Vernikov, she works for Oren Levy. She works for Viral News NYC. So let's say Shahana Hanif wanted to bring it up, saying like, you work with an anti-vaccine, you work with an anti-vaxxer, anti-directly story hour affiliated press guy.
Okay.
Proofs in the pudding.
I mean,
so that's kind of
technically an anti-vax. I'm not completely anti-vax, but I'm one of those, like, I've been around those events too. So I guess I would be affiliated, maybe? I don't know.
No. But she actually takes his content and she uses it for her own stuff. So it just don't look good at all. It just doesn't look good at all.
Oh, okay, yeah. And they do have a work
relationship,
I guess. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look good at all. Especially in the vertical. Like, it just, I respect her as an elected official. I helped her get in city council, but you gotta really look yourself in the mirror. It's like, wait a minute. Like, okay, is it because I work with Oren? Is because I work with Guards of Affinity? I work with these questionable characters, and I have no problem working with these questionable characters. A reason why that these people will bring it up in the stated meeting or to the press?
Okay, interesting.
They won't respond to that, or they just keep on calling a Jew hater. I don't get it. You got to respond to what she say. If you don't, then you're gonna be sounding like a broken record, because I don't think she hates the Jews at all.
I invite them on my program to talk more about their positions.
I don't think I don't think Shahana and they don't hate the Jews. They just don't want to back the people that's backing the bill. It's just like if there's a bill that's introduced by Warner dealer, nobody will jump on that bill. Get the hell out of there with that because he's a fucking pervert. It's not
Mm,
because they're against good cause eviction. It's not because they're against saving the kids. Because the person introduced the bill is a pervert. It's the person that's backing the bill. And the point of being elected official is you have to have people that support you. And certain things you do could cause those relationships to be humble, to be destroyed or never be built. And
yeah.
we try to introduce bill to city council, it would never get to the floor because nobody want to get on the committee, nobody will vote it to committee, and then nobody will get to the floor. Even get to the floor, it'll be denied.
Yeah, that's the politics part of this whole thing, right? The relationships, blah blah blah. That's
Yeah, so it's like,
yeah, that's for the big people usually. The little people usually don't really get to those tables. So we'll see. Yeah,
yeah, so it's just like I understand what they was coming from, like Shahana Hanif and Barron was coming from,
it's good to know,
but
man.
the
Yeah,
bill
you have a
got
lot of
passed.
knowledge.
It
Appreciate it.
got it got it got to the floor. It got passed, and it is what it is. But you guys gotta, it's a lesson. It's a big lesson.
I'm
It
actually
doesn't
yeah.
matter. That means
I'm actually
you could put.
connected to the to these things. So it's really fascinating to get these. Hey, I just want to ask one thing, just on a national level, right? Because you do have actually great knowledge, which I'm floored by every time you're on my show. Thank you so much for coming on again. This guy named RFK Jr. is supposedly running for president, right? But it seems like he would pull from the
Hmm.
Trump people, those anti-vaxxers, right? A lot of the anti-vaxxers seems to want him, but then they're also pulled to the Trump side. What what do you think is going to happen with that whole thing? You think he's going to be viable, RFK?
Nah, I think that's what the last grip they could pull, the last grip they could ever pull before this shit's over. All that is a grift. Kennedy will never be Biden. Biden is going to be the nominee. The party, the establishment, the powers that be, the committee will make Biden the nominee. They like it or not.
Maybe those Green
Now,
Sovereign
all
Rights
that
movement
shit
will
they
back RFK. I think that's a right
yeah,
when you see the bent that they're
they're trying to
taking.
make some
Right?
money.
Yeah,
It's all about making money. It's all about
another millionaire. Yeah,
making making another millionaire and make sure these guys and movements like the child like um Michael Michael Caine from Teacher of Choice have a job. That's all they care about. It's not about them trying to become. He'll never become president. Nobody will ever take those views seriously. But Robert Kennedy's a joke. He's trash.
oh well, there you
So
go. You heard it here first. You know what I mean? So we'll see
it's
what.
gonna be between Biden, Joe Biden, and Donald Trump, and that's all it's about. You know.
Yeah, he doesn't have too many experienced people to really bring up his stuff. But you never
Mhm.
know. Yeah, the Medical Freedom Party did do some serious. They ran more candidates. They had a pretty decent thing going. We'll have to see where that goes. But I don't know if Ross is going to associate with their group because of the
Mhm.
internal things going on. So the third party independent space is quite exciting and interesting. There's larger threats than ever and weird responses and growing and splintering, all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an exciting time, man. Yeah, Mayday. Yeah, man. Once again,
Oh
Christopher
yeah.
Leon
Speaking
Johnson.
tomorrow, May Day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's the Labor Day. It's like the Labor Day for the activists and for people that's out there fighting for labor. So
What are
past
you doing
Friday,
tomorrow? You going to an event?
yeah, yeah, May Day tomorrow. I'm going there tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning. Then we have one 12 o'clock hosted by the Chinese anti-CPC people,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The Ain't I a Woman thing, right? Yeah.
Ron Kim and Chris Marte. They're gonna be there Monday morning.
Oh, Ron
Monday
Kim is with
afternoon.
Chris Marte. They're friends,
I don't think so, but he's against CPC, so he might show up. You
but
never
they're
know.
they're together on this particular event, eh?
Yeah. So
Interesting. Okay.
tomorrow's May Day. Tomorrow is the Labor. It's like the Labor Day before the Labor Day. Labor Day is I think in October,
Yeah,
but
there's a
is
chance I show up for some of that. Yeah. Come see Chris
10 o'clock
Leon
again.
Johnson and DGL7 live at the. You said 12
Yeah,
p.m. at and you said there's another one
no,
at 10 a.m.
10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 12 o'clock.
There's two events.
Yeah, 10 o'clock at Washington Square Park,
What's going on at Washington
and
Square
then
Park?
10 o'clock hosted by the unions, by RSDW, the NICE, all these other organizations. They're gonna be there Monday morning.
Okay. There might be also this event with Eric Rossi. Yeah, I'll put that
I
up on
don't
my.
know.
I'll put a post on my YouTube. Yeah. Hey man, I'm
Mhm.
I'm tapped out, man. Yeah, another month,
Yeah.
another week. Yeah. Anything else?
Mhm. And I think that's it. Basically,
Oh, let me check
that's.
the
I
chat to
mean,
see if anybody said anything, and then we could address that. Yeah, before we go.
yeah.
Last thing. Oh, you still there? Your video
I'm
dropped
here.
out. Okay, cool.
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
I could hear you. I cannot see you. It's all good though.
Oh, wait. I took my phone.
Okay.
1 second. Yeah.
So we need critical thinking saying end apartheid. Jason Bardo X says hi. Lover in a Thunder says Kalief never took the backpack, which is possible, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to see the it's just a backpack. I mean, damn, like
Yeah, we
he
like
doesn't
the
even
thing
knocked out.
before we I'd like to answer that comment. I'd like to answer that comment. Me wants to go back. That's somebody.
Okay.
The Zoom in progress over here. Sorry, that was on my other phone. So sorry about that, guys. So I don't think he took the backpack at all. We don't know. We never know he did it. We never know he did it or he did it or not. We never know. It's an accusation. It's an allegation. We never know. But what happened to the kid, the guy, it was just sad. It was real sad, and we see what happened to his mental health. And we see how that ended for him. He took his own life because of that. I think he needed the proper help, not the help that they was giving him. He needed the proper help. They was offering him some program where they take you out the city and they put you. That's not gonna do enough. Just like he needed trauma therapy. That's what he needed. Real trauma therapy. Not. Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's the comments, and we need critical thinking. So thanks. I guess that's the end of the program. Thanks for checking out another episode. And watch out, Dinnick Martinez. I know. Hopefully, you'll be on the program soon. I'll get to learn what this whole moderate. He's a moderate, yeah, and that's cool. I'm not mad at that, but I'm not sure exactly what that is, so I still have to learn. Yeah, excited to learn.
Yeah, I totally get it.
All right, cool. All right, so that's it, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna hit stop recording. Stop.
All right, take care.